pounds less than what we're used to saying with that name. It's Tim Witherspoon Jr., the son of the former heavyweight titleist. He's taking on Dusty Harrison Hernandez. There's Witherspoon Jr., 29 years old, 6 foot, 146 and a half. He's from Philly, 10 wins framed against 3 losses and a draw in his career. And he's opposite Dusty Hernandez Harrison from Washington, D.C. 10 years younger. He's only 19 years old. 6 foot, just over 146. He is 18-0 without a loss, 10 of those coming by knockout.
Youth champion Dusty Hernandez Harrison.
Benji Esteves is our referee as they are scheduled for 8.
That's all right.
Okay, Dusty, Tim, well, nice clean match. Obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Good luck to both of you.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you here for our annual Super Bowl edition of Friday Night Fights, which means at some point Teddy will be putting forth his fearless Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to estimate, I'm just throwing this out there in all our years, that you're like easily over 85% on your Super Bowl picks through the years being with you.
At least. It's been sitting in a Hellman's mayonnaise jar.
Unscrew it and reveal the Super Bowl prediction.
Step out, clean, both of you. Step out, step out.
Oh. And Witherspoon trying to test the body, utilize that jab early, and there was a right hand that landed to the body from Tim Witherspoon Jr. Another right hand touching that left flank of Dusty.
I think this could be a fight where Harrison winds up having his way.
Watch that shoulder. Dusty, watch that. Let's go now.
Dusty Harrison Hernandez turned pro at 16 years old. His handlers were billing him as the youngest professional fighter in America. That was a title that for many years was thrown around Bones Adams. 2-punch combination from Dusty that time.
Witherspoon, 7 months since his last fight. Incredible
Let him go, let him go.
how many gaps of inactivity, well, he's had in his career. Makes you wonder about his real commitment a little bit in some of those spots to the sport, or maybe his belief in his career. After his debut, he takes off 3 years, and he has had a gap of almost 1.5 years and 1 year, besides that initial gap of 3 years after his pro debut.
Lost a 4-round decision in that pro debut back in September of 05, fought again in October of 2008.
And he has a loss on his career to a 3-7-2 opponent. So again, it makes you a little bit skeptical.
All right, quick, step back.
About the legitimacy of Witherspoon's 10-3-1 record, or at least his ability to deal with an 18-0 opponent. We're going to find out.
As always, we invite you to join in on social media throughout the night of Friday Night Fights. You can tweet along with Nigel Collins on Twitter. Nigel Collins does an outstanding job of documenting everything that's going on and creating his own conversation. You can also go to the Friday Night Fight Facebook page and judge this round and jump in throughout the night and see how your score compares to the 3 ringside judges and to Teddy Atlas's scorecard. As Witherspoon Jr. and Dusty Hernandez Harrison are coming to the end of round number 1. They clap ringside, does the commission here right at 5. You heard that. And now we will hear from our studio host, Todd Richard J. Cody Arena. You have dual hockey rinks, basically. Hockey arenas matching twin style here. And we fill the place every so often for Friday Night Fights. We will have 3 scheduled television bouts tonight. 2 8-rounders starting here with these welterweights, and then 10-round light heavyweight action with a tinge of NFL to it, as Teddy's fight plan will include a New York Giant, Prince Amukamara, and we will also have former NFL All-Pro linebacker Takeo Spikes join in the conversation with us ringside.
Step back, quick.
You know, Harrison, besides being 18-0, having the advantage of having never learned how to lose, and that confidence that you would hope starts to show itself now, because it didn't show itself really in the first round. Harrison's also the bigger man, welterweight his entire career, while Witherspoon turned pro, Joe, at 132, and he fought between lightweight and junior welterweight. Most of his career only moved up to 147 in his last 2 fights. So, look, both are tall for the weight class and long arms. So you wonder who's going to take charge. You know, who's going to take charge on the outside? You always wonder that with tall guys. But in this case, I'm wondering who's going to take control on the inside. And maybe that's Harrison, the man who's the bigger guy.
As is the case with many fighters who have stumbled earlier in their career and they move up in weight. Witherspoon also said that it was trying to make weight and being at the lower weight class that cost him some results in the ring. Says he's stronger here now fighting at welterweight.
We talked about, well, I talked about Witherspoon's gaps of inactivity. Well, no such gap for Harrison. The opposite. He's been very busy since turning pro. At one point last year, he had 6 fights in 8 months and fought 2 times in November. That inactivity, being in the ring, being calm, being confident, being comfortable, that I think is going to serve him tonight. And I think it's serving him a little bit this round.
Utilizing the jab here, trying to set up that right hand.
197 amateur fights for Harrison, only 15 for Witherspoon. That makes it a little bit of a hill to climb for Witherspoon.
Hold his head down, son.
Heard the warning from Esteves towards Dusty there about pulling his head down when that left hand got behind. Dug in with a left hand to the body. Witherspoon returns fire, and he turned that right hand over into an uppercut coming off the body punch. Now more body work from Dusty. Decent infighting here.
Yeah, the difference so far is Harrison blocking the body shots a little bit. He rolled with that punch. Witherspoon eating some of those.
We're just south of MetLife Stadium here in West Orange, New Jersey.
All right, let's go. Time in.
Witherspoon started having a little bit of problems after a good first round. Ate some right hands and absorbed some body shots from the undefeated Harrison in that last round. And maybe more problems to come is the fact that Witherspoon's never been past 6 rounds. Joe, in his career, Harrison has been 10 rounds 1 time. So you wonder how that's going to affect Witherspoon. Does he worry about pacing himself a little bit in spots where Harrison wouldn't have to worry about that? Harrison could go full throttle, at least mentally understanding that he's been to rounds. I can't yell at either fighter tonight, Joe, about giving up their height because they're both tall.
Right. Both welterweights are 6 foot tall.
Tall and long. Maybe a little edge to the length or the reach goes to Witherspoon. But right now he's not using that reach. He's falling in. And again, I think when you have 2 tall guys like this, a lot of people think jabs, they think outside. I think inside. And that's where it's going. I think, well, who's going to be able to separate themselves and be the stronger guy in the trenches? And again, I think it's Harrison trying to prove that, having been a bigger man throughout his career.
See him trying to get that right hand free and fire off that uppercut. As Esteves separates them. Three-punch combination from Witherspoon, but it feels like the more effective work on the inside comes from Hernandez Harrison.
There's one advantage that Witherspoon might have, and I'm sure his father, the former 2-time heavyweight champion, is hoping he has. Maybe it's in the area of maturity. Harrison only 19 years old, of course. Witherspoon 10 years older at 29. Harrison only turned pro at 17. So you just wonder if maybe just the manhood, I guess, the maturity of Witherspoon could pull him through here. But the only problem is when you've had 197 amateur fights, even at 19, well, there's a certain amount of maturity to you.
He's been forged as a young fighter. Good exchange that time, as there was a left hook from Witherspoon right at the end of that exchange.
That left hook, well, a lot of the power was taken off it as it slid just across his head.
It was good timing by Dusty Hernandez Harrison to throw that right hand just at the moment that Witherspoon had put a nice hook in motion and took a good portion of the power away from it. So round number 4 here of our opening bout. Got 8 rounds of welterweights, 8 rounds of junior feathers, and then a 10-round main event with an unbeaten light heavyweight making his U.S. debut in Blake Caparello.
Again, there you see Witherspoon using his good hand speed and some good combination punching. A lot of people use the left hand to combinate on the inside. Hook to the body, hook to the head. That's pretty conventional, pretty standard. Witherspoon used the right hand. Body and then nice right hand up top, catching Harrison. But Harrison, for the most part, his body shot's a little cleaner than Witherspoon's.
Let him go.
Trying to free himself for some position on the inside. Now back out to space, and he leads off with a left uppercut, then a right hand, and now pushes him back against those ropes.
Give credit to Witherspoon. 15 amateur fights versus 197 for Harrison. Well, you do the math. But right now, Witherspoon, oh, he's hanging in there pretty good. See, this is where Harrison, even though he's younger, 10 years younger, could maybe take control because of the amateur experience, but also because the knowledge and the experience that he's gone 10 rounds. Witherspoon might be thinking about those rounds now, never having been out at 6.
Let him go, Tim. Let him go.
Yeah, Harrison's not thinking about the rounds, Joe. You can see it by his body language. He's thinking about being a boss, about taking control, about getting work done right now.
That's what he's doing on the inside here, putting that shoulder in and then creating just a little bit of space to fire off. Doubled up that left hand as we come to the end of round 4. Reminder, got another young unbeaten coming up. It's Luis Rosa, 22 years old, 15-0. He's in our next fight. Luis Rosa, who says it will not go the distance when he steps in there with New Jersey's very own Jorge Diaz, whose wife gave birth to a little boy today, and he fights after our opening bout here as we're in round number 5, scheduled for 8 between Dusty Hernandez Harrison and Tim Witherspoon Jr.
Break the punches, step back.
Witherspoon touching that belt line and then trying to headhunt a little bit, but it's good movement by Dusty. Teddy scorecard has the 19-year-old 18-0 fighter on top, 39-37. Fans see it the same way, 3 rounds to 1. You can go to the ESPN Facebook page, Friday Night Fights Facebook page, and join in the scoring throughout the night. And you can jump in and out at any point.
We're talking about jumping in and out.
No punching.
I'll segue right into that. Harrison, early on, was trying to jump in and out. And I think that's because of the strength of Harrison, the body punching. That's starting to push him back Witherspoon. And there's one up right there. Push him back a little bit.
So well-placed left hand to the body by Dusty.
Yeah, I know there's a difference with Harrison this round, Joe. I guess it's confidence. And he just hopes, his corner hopes it's not overconfidence. He's loading up.
He
you
is.
know, he's going for bear this round, putting a little extra on all those shots. It's starting to become a dog-cat fight. And what I mean by that is Harrison's the dog looking basically to eat up the cat. And the cat Witherspoon, well, you know, he's scratching and clawing a little bit. A little warning there from the referee for an elbow, I guess.
Yeah, you know, Benji Esteves is warning him for the elbow. Actually, he pushed his head forward with his left glove. His glove was under his chin, and he just simply pushed it forward, then creating room for the right hand. It wasn't the typical flick of the elbow you typically see on the inside where you get that warning.
Well, going back to the dog and cat, you know, Witherspoon doing a pretty good job of flashing out and scratching and hanging in there, but Harrison looks to eat him. I guess you'd rather be scratched by a cat than bitten by a dog. I guess that's the, at the end of the day, that's what you take away with that.
5 seconds after
Come to the end of the round, give you a chance to show you the warning that Esteves put forward. And you'll see how he just simply pushed the head back with that glove. More to come. Stay with us. Tim Witherspoon Jr. with dad in his corner. Of course, son of the former heavyweight titles, who was the WBC champ back in '84, took the VA belt in '86. Lost the title fight to Larry Holmes, beat Greg Page and Tony Tubbs. Had losses to Pinklin Thomas and Bone Crusher Smith. Yes, that era of 1980s heavyweights.
Let him out, let him out. No punching.
That's it. And again, I said it the last round, Joe, I saw what I thought was a definitive sort of change of pace for Harrison. Rather than using a jab, you know, playing small ball a little bit to set things up. He started going for the fences. Big ball. And he's going to get penalized maybe, or at least warned for that big ball or that fences mentality. You know, sometimes you go for the fences, you hit a foul ball.
That's right.
Come on, Tim.
All right, break, no punching, step back.
There's Witherspoon's father there, former titles.
Yo, what's up with this?
I think there's opportunities here now. Witherspoon's starting to fall in. You know, he's got the smaller body, a little thinner, starting to fall in spots. I think there's opportunities for Harrison if he recognizes it. Take a little step back and maybe walk Witherspoon into something. Maybe an uppercut. Just look at it. You can see the body language of Witherspoon. He does well there, but there's spots where he gets top heavy, leans a little bit. I just wonder whether or not Harrison has a feel for that. You know, he's so, in his mind, he is so locked into going forward. You wonder if he can change gears and maybe take a little half step back before the referee gets in there and allow Witherspoon to fall into him.
Break, no punching.
Not working on the way in that time.
Not only that, but Witherspoon has a habit, his father used to do it, of taking his right glove and putting it over on his left side of his face to block the right hand. He did it again. Just look for that. Now, if I'm Harrison, I'm in the corner, I'm going to pick up on that and tell him, look, he's putting his right glove over, all the way over on his left side. So what you do is you throw a right hand, a short right hand, to keep the glove over there, and then come back with a left hook, and there'll be nothing home. Nothing to block that left hook.
Right, get him to go there and take advantage. Corner trying to urge on the 29-year-old Tim Witherspoon Jr. They were saying, hey, you were doing 5 rounds of sparring consistently with middleweights. Now you got 2 to go here against the 19-year-old welterweight, Dusty Hernandez Harrison.
And he's got to do it in territory that he's never been before. That makes it harder. Witherspoon now into the 7th round for the first time in his life. And I said earlier, Harrison, well, he's been in this territory. He's been 10 rounds one time in his career. You know, I'm going to dare to say that when I noticed that change 2 rounds ago in Harrison, it may have hurt him a little bit because he stopped using the jab, he stopped playing small ball, he looked for the fences. And although he's delivering big shots to the body as he just did, and always looking for that home run, he hasn't been putting men on base. And he's been allowing every once in a while for Witherspoon, oh, to stick something in there, to steal a base, so to speak. But not right now.
That was a
Right now.
combination that he dug in on.
Yeah, right now, Harrison, again, is bringing the heavy artillery out. Everything is big. Everything is strong. Everything has a home run written all over it.
And let's see if everybody's in agreement. 59-55, says Teddy. His scorecard going to round 7. Viewers at home see it same way.
Those are
5
my
rounds
guys.
to 1.
My
They are your
guys, my guys.
Week in and week
Not,
out.
never disappoint me.
Those of you who
Even
score
when they
along
disagree
on
with me.
Facebook, the Friday Night Fight Facebook page. Of course, you have 2 outlets of social media with us every week. You can tweet along with Nigel Collins, read Nigel, tweet to Nigel on Nigel Collins' Friday Night Fight Twitter feed, and then you have the Facebook scoring on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page.
You know, in life, in the ring, on the football field, coming up Sunday, you know, we're always pushing to get that edge. But every once in a while, you have to give a little to get a little. And I think it's that moment now. If Harrison would just give a little, just step back just a little bit, well, he'd be the recipient of some open shots where Witherspoon would just fall in. Like right now, just take a little step back, and that was a little step with that uppercut, and it worked pretty well for Harrison.
They'll have 1 last round to go here. Then we have 8 rounds with unbeaten Luis Rosa and our light heavyweight main event still to come. Stay with us. Back for the New York Giants. You have an incredible relationship with NFL players. They've always gravitated towards you. It feels like you've had so many NFL players through the years wanting to join in the fight plan, and another one here tonight for our Super Bowl edition of Friday Night Fights. 8th and final round here between Tim Witherspoon Jr., the 29-year-old, and the 19-year-old, 18-0 fighter, Dusty Hernandez Harrison, who is ahead on Teddy's scorecards and on the fan scorecard.
And right now, talking about football, Harrison's showing his own version of prevent defense. You know, not going forward, although he's making me a liar now, but starting off the round, not going for the fences, not going forward, but using his legs, which he hadn't been using for about 4 rounds, and showing a little defense with those legs, little versatility, knowing that he's ahead. But right now he figures, well, he's been safe for the most part all night, pressing the issue, pushing the envelope. Oh, he might as well finish that way. You know what? Sometimes you're right that way. Because in close, when you're pushing, there's less that the other man can do. Especially when you're the one doing the pushing. You're in control of the situation. So for a lot of people sitting out there that say, well, he's putting himself in the eye of the storm, you know, possibly in the lion's cage. But in reality, by being in close and being in charge, he's limiting what Witherspoon can do.
See Dusty's edge according to CompuBox. 144 connects to an even 100 for Witherspoon Jr.
And Harrison definitely limiting what Witherspoon can do by being real close and banging away with these shots. I mean, he's keeping Witherspoon defensive. That's a pretty good way of protecting your lead, too. Or maybe closing the show. And it looks like maybe Harrison looking to close the show on national TV.
A couple good sharp right hands there. That's what's ahead. Rosa and Caparillo, next two fights coming up. Rosa's unbeaten, Caparillo's unbeaten. You'll see Rosa against Diaz, junior featherweights, and then Caparillo against the veteran Elvir Maricki.
See, there's that right hand again, moving over. Just watch. There's the right hand again, moving over to the left side of the face of Witherspoon. If Harrison wants to close the show, touch it with the right hand and then come bang! Right back quick with that left hook before the right hand gets back over.
Break my punching. 5 seconds, step back.
And Hernandez Harrison should be soon enough celebrating 19-0 for the 19-year-old. We will hear from the judges when we return a Friday to go, but let's show you what happened at the end of the last round with Tim Witherspoon Jr. and Dusty Hernandez Harrison. Watch the corner to your left. That's the former heavyweight titleist, Tim Witherspoon. You can see him point.
Is you always hear that saying, you know, it's not personal, it's business. Well, when you have two fathers in a corner, it's never business. It's always personal.
That's a great point. As Buddy Harrison, the trainer of his son, the 19-year-old Dusty Hernandez Harrison. Teddy sees it 79-73. Facebook, the fans at home, 7 rounds to 1. As for how the judges ringside see it, let's go up to generous Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, after 8 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. And all 3 of our judges, Kason Cheeks, John Potteray, and John Stewart, agree, seeing the bout 78-74, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from Washington, D.C., Dusty Hernandez Harrison.
So the 19-year-old is now 19-0, and for Tim Witherspoon Jr., he's 10-4-1. We've got unbeaten Luis